Hello everyone, it's Mish here and welcome to my channel. If you're new, thanks for stopping by, and if you are one of my returning crafty friends and kindred spirits, I thank you so much for stopping in again today. I am going to be doing the last, not page, but the back cover of the Anna Green Gables album that we've been working on. So we've done 5 signatures already. And now we're just going to finish up with the back cover. Right, so this is just my back page. What I wanted to do is do a little bit of a flip out, and then we are going to actually make an interactive mechanism page thing that we'll do together. I've already cut out my back flip that I want. And, well, I wish I could do a back flip. This I did out of 110-pound cardstock that you can get at Michael's. So at Michael's you could get, well, 3 weights right now. Is you can get the normal cardstock, which is about 65 pounds. You can get the paper, the black paper, which is, I believe it's 24 pounds. And that's a little bit more flimsy. And then you can get the 110. And I find the 110 is good for some things and not so good for other things. But because I want this to actually cover my mechanism and it's on the back page, I want it a bit more rigid. I just want it a little bit heavier weight of a construction there. I am going to use just my score tape, and then, excuse me, I'm going to put a little bit of glue. For this, I'm just going to use some of the Tombow Aqua glue just along the edges, just to help the tape stay adhered when it's under pressure. Okay, and then I'm just going to turn this sideways so I can see here, and I'm just going to line this up as best I can with my lighting. It's still dark outside, and I find when it's dark outside, I struggle a little bit more with lighting in here. So I want it to come pretty much to the back cover, and it needs to be down just a fraction. Now with this, I've also left, I think that's good there, I've also left a bit of a gutter. So when I scored it, I have my 1/2-inch score. That works. I have my 1/2-inch score like I always have, and then I scored at 1/4 and then 3/8, and that just gives me a little bit of a gutter there where there's going to be a little something bulky here, so it will give me room. Now this flip out here, I'm going to make that into a pocket. Oops, so we might as well go ahead and do that now. I'm not putting anything under the pocket. And this page, this set of flips and flops is going to be quite tame because of this mechanism that we're going to be having here. All right, so there's my back page. I've put some ribbon under it already because I want to do a type of ribbon closure. Actually, I'm going to be using these. I've had these for a long time. I think the kids gave them to me as well. They're little for the back of pictures frames, but I'm going to actually use those to fashion a closure here with this, which will be kind of different. I might have to use some score tape on this too, or this is really thick paper. Not sure if that glue is going to hold that down, but we'll try. So I'm not going to put anything more underneath my back panel, so we can go ahead and get that down because everything else hinges off of this. So I was going to put this under here, but I already put down my back panel, but it doesn't, I guess, I like to actually hide these underneath my mats. But in this instance, I put the mat down first, but I don't really think it's going to make too much of a difference because everything is sort of outlined in black, and it looks like it's just maybe the outline. So I wanted this to flip down here. And what else do I have? And then on this page, we're going to have a little pocket So that's just going to go down to the bottom. So when you flip over, you've got a little tuck spot here. But we'll get to that in a minute. But I don't think there's anything else I want to put underneath here. I could add a lot more flip outs before I put down my back mat. So I could have added a flip out of the top and the bottom. But the mechanism that we're going to work on, or the thing that we're going to have, is this. I've already made it ahead of time, but I am going to make one with you guys. It's not my original idea. I first saw this, I'm probably going to say like 4 or 5 years ago, on Shrushri Patel. I never say her first name right, I don't think. But I'll try to find the actual video. Now, I've modified this. Hers is quite a bit smaller. Where's my prototype? I did a couple prototypes with this. And hers is actually this size. So it's quite a bit smaller. So I've made the dimensions bigger for my album. And so what it does is you just pull down. You have a little band here, which I haven't on this one. This was just a play one. But once this is fastened down, so it's going to be glued down on my background. And then I've made a little tab that you just pull. And then you've got a nice little pop-out surprise. Surprise! Where you can put, that's room enough for like a 2x3 photo or just some decorations, and then you can actually put your photos on the back here, or you could put a little journal mat. You could do whatever you like with the actual inside. And then on the outside, once we close this back up, you've got room for a mat, some little decorations. So we are going to make that once I get stuff down. So that's why I didn't want to do too many more flip outs, because that's kind of bulky. I'm going to have a pocket here to put some stuff in, and then you're going to have your pockets and stuff there. But by all means, if you wanted to do another flip on this side, because I've given that a lot of room, I think I can actually have another flip here so that it flips open and you'll have two surfaces. I think what I'll do, because that's plenty of room, I think I will. I think I'm going to go away. I'm going to make another flip for here. It's not going to be this heavy cardstock. It's just going to be the normal cardstock. And I'm just going to have another flip so that when this closes, it opens up kind of like a book and you've got the 3 panels. So I'm going to go away and do that, and I'll be back. Okay, so it's now many hours later. I've been working and back. It is now 5:40, so it's almost 12 hours since I was last here, but I've managed to get some stuff done. So what I've done is we attached this, as you know, we just started with that back page, then we added a flip out by doing that 1/2 inch score line there, and then I've left a little bit of a gutter. For this here, I have just added a little pocket and then just a little tuck spot here. And then on the other side, have just done the same thing, just a sheet of that black paper with a little score at a 1/2 inch, and then just glued that down. And before I put anything down, I put my ribbons underneath, so I have those there. And then I've put my back page mat down. And then on this page, I just left a little tuck spot. And then when you close this up, there's a tuck spot there. There's a little flip down. And I've also just put a little belly band so we can tuck things in there. So on the back here, on this back page, to finish off this area, I wanted to put this little pop-up mechanism thing. So you pull on the bottom, which will be easier once I fix it down, but you pull it up and then you get the little pop-outs. Okay, and I'm just going to put that down just with some tape, and then that's going to be our back, the back of our book. I'm going to set this aside and then just go over how I made that mechanism, just for those who may be interested. I have my mats here, but I needed, for the size that I did, which overall measured 5 1/4 by 8, I have 2 pop-up panels, and they measure 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. Then I have a piece of card that the pop-ups are going to be attached to. This is number 2, and this piece measures 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. And then I have a top cover, which measures 5 1/4 by 8. And then I have another piece the same size, but it's made of that thicker card, 110, and that's for the base. All right, so there's my five pieces. Plus I have this little strip, which is 1 inch by 8. We'll probably cut that down. So those are our pieces that we need for the mechanism. Now for the mats, I have 2 pieces that measure 2 1/4 by 3 1/4, and those will go down on our pop-up pieces. Okay, the base has nothing. Then our top panel, the bit that you're going to see, I have these 2 mats. This small mat measures, let me see, my top cover, that's 5 inches across, as is this. So this is 1 1/4 by 5, and this is 6 1/4 by 5. Okay, that's my mats for there. And then I have 2 mats for the mechanism card, which are these 2 mats. And before I cut the corners off, these mats measure 5 by 3 1/4. Okay, so those are, and then I just have this little piece that's going to go on the strip, and this is 3/4 by 5. All right, so we're just going to start off with, I'm going to put the mats aside for now, put those down later. So we're going to start out with our 2 little pieces here, and the smaller card that measures that 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. That's 5 1/4 across by 7 1/4. So I folded this in half, like so. I folded that in half, okay, and then I unfolded it. And then you can almost see my pencil lines already, but I measured down the center line to 3/4 and down the center line on this end to 3/4. Okay, so then I turned it and I measured out from the center line by 3/4. So I measured out by 3/4, and then I measured the other side to 3/4. All right, so then I took I just have this little score tool, but you can use a bone folder or whatever you have that can just make a score line. And then I just lined up the center line there. So that's the line that goes from the center to one of those ones that are on the outside, and I just scored that. So I scored it. Same on the other side, I made a score, and then make a score, and then make a score. Okay, so then you're going to close that again, and then gently, where this score line is, you see the score line there, you're just going to fold your page over. You're going to fold that corner over and press it out, then fold it towards yourself, press it out. Okay, and then you're going to do that on the other side. So you can either push it away or towards you, but you need to do both sides. Okay, so then you're going to open it up slightly, and you're going to take that point and you're going to push it in so it hides the corner, just like that. And we're going to do that on the other side, like so. Okay, so then we have that part done. So then we're going to glue this to our base here. And I'm not going to glue it until I get my mechanisms down, because there's a certain way that you want to glue it. Okay, so now that you have your corners, like so, we're going to take these small pieces, and on opposite corners, you're going to do the same thing. you're going to measure down your side here by 3/4, and on this side by 3/4. You're going to take your little scoring tool and you're going to score on there. And then you want to do it, so if I'm holding my cards like this, I want to do one on the lower left side and one on the lower right side, and those will fit in here. Okay, so you want to take your little bits with the folded corner. So this one here you want down to the right, and this one here you want down to the left, like so. And then we're just going to put, I changed my glues because I don't think that the Elmer's glue is going to hold this as well. So I'm just going to put some glue on this little corner here, and then I'm going to fold it under, like so, and I'm going to line it up along this line here, and so that it's flush along here. So I've folded it under, and I've lined it up against that diagonal, okay, and I've actually glued it down here. So it's glued, this little corner is glued on the back to line up with that score line, okay? And then the same on this side. Going to put a little bit of glue on there, okay, and then we're going to fold it under and line it up with our score line there. Okay, so that it looks like that. And I don't want it on this fold line, so if you have to wiggle it up a bit, then you have to wiggle it up a bit. Okay, because I want to be able to close my card. And this one here is just down a little bit. There we go. Okay, like so. And then we're just going to let that dry. And then we're going to just on this little triangle here, this one here, not the whole thing, but just on those little triangles there, we're just going to put a little bit of glue on both sides. Okay, and then we're just going to flop that down and let it glue there. And we're going to make sure we're not going to touch it until we know it's dry, or it's not going to pop up. So in the meantime, I was just getting other things organized. So I've got my mat here. I did cut a corner off it. Somebody's outside talking. It's snowing again right now, but it's supposed to change over here in a little while to freeze and rain, but then rain. And we're supposed to get a lot of rain, which means that there's going to be a lot of water lying down. And then you can wait until we finish with those to put your other mat down, but I'm just going to slide it underneath there. I'm just going to put my glue on that, and then I'm just going to slide it under here and just make sure it lines up like so. Okay, and then I'm going to get my mats down. But I'm going to wait to put my mats down so I make sure that I've got them on the right side, because I think I want them on the other side. So I don't know if I should try that or not. In the meantime, the mats are down on my top piece, and on the bottom piece there's nothing, because we're going to glue. Once this folds up, this goes really easy. The longest wait is for that glue to make sure it's perfectly dry, or the mechanism's just not going to work. But once that folds up, we're going to glue it onto here, then we're going to glue that onto there, put our little band on it, and then when we pull it down, it'll just open up. It is pretty easy. But I just want to make sure that this is going to close up, because the first time that it works, that you get it in there, first time is the hardest. And then once it knows what it needs to do, then you're gold. Okay. So, alrighty. So I think we're good. Let's try it. Yes. Okay, so now we've got our, oops, I don't want to pull it off, our mechanism, like so. Okay, so when it opens up like this is the side we want to be opening. So if we glued it upside down and then it opens up, you can still see there, but we want to kind of display it like that. All right, and the best way to know that is you'll see the little bit that you glued down. You can see the little flap there, whereas on the back there is no flap. So where you see that little flap, that's going to be towards you. So meaning we want to glue this down on here, and we want to glue it so that it opens this way, I believe. So when we, no, it has to open this way. Hang on 1 minute. I just want to double check to make sure it's going to open the right way. Yes, because we're going to glue it that way. It's going to pull down that way. So when, just like I said, the little tab you can see from the card is right here. And you'll know what I mean. It's hard to see here. But when this folds up, okay, we want it to pull down that way. So we're going to glue it. And if you have to trim some stuff up, then you need to trim some stuff up. But we're going to just get some nice heavy glue. Hopefully this will hold. Okay, and we're going to put it all on there. And then we're going to line it up at the top of the card. So it's just going to go like that and line up. Okay, so that your little diagonals are facing you, and this is lining up straight. And then we're going to take this card and we're just going to glue this little flap, okay, and make sure it's just the flap, that you don't get the main card. But we're just going to put some glue on there. It is really cute. And like I said, once you do one, you'll know what you're doing. Okay, and then with our little band, what the band does is it just helps guide it through. Okay, so if you want to make sure your band is straight, I sometimes just take a ruler, and it's about 1 inch, I think, that band. So I'll just draw my inch line like so, and then just draw a little line so that when I put this on, I'm just going to line it up on that line. So that it's straight. Okay, and we want to glue it down on the back, but none on the front, of course, because that's where it's going to slip through. All right, so I'm just going to glue that down like so. Put a little bit to glue it together. And there we go. Okay, so because there's not a lot of room there, I put a little pull tab on. I didn't make a little pull tab, but you can just take punch a little circle, or for this one here, I just made a little circle. I punched it out, and then I just glued it to the back. So let's just, I don't know what I have here for a circle. Let's try this one. And I wanted it from, it didn't have to be heavy cardstock, but I want it more than just this printer paper. Because I didn't want it to rip. So this might not go with the overall design of this one, but let's try a piece of this. Okay, and then when we pull this down, we'll give it a little help there. We have our flip down. Okay, so while this is down, I'm just going to put, doesn't have to be huge. And if you want to, you could even put it underneath before you put this mat down. You could put your little circle there. I think I'm just going to put it there. Kind of like it there. Like so. Or you can hide it underneath. Like you could hide it underneath there. But I kind of like it on top. I'm just going to put that on top. Like so. Make sure it's in the center, which mine's probably not, but you could always measure. Okay, and then once it closes up, let's get our mats on. I did take a little chunk out of the corners here so that they would sit like so. Okay, and the same on the other side. It's now getting dark. When I first come in here, what time did I say it was? Around 5:30, I think. Was it 5:30? Oh yeah, because I was late getting home. Yeah, I was late finishing work. But it was really bright out. Now it's dark. And now it's, gosh, it's 6:30. Okay, so we're going to close that up. And then we have our little pull tab here. So when you fasten that down, or if it's a card, they would just pull, and you have your little thing. You can decorate it up, and I love it. So I hope that wasn't too confusing. Sometimes I think that maybe I'm kind of confusing more so than helpful, but I just thought that was a cute thing to add to the album. So with this one here, I'm just going to open this up. I got some glue on my finger, and just going to get this down. So then this will finish this back page. So in the next video, I will be doing some decorating. So we'll get some of the bits and pieces from the kit, and we'll do some decorating. And then maybe the next one might be the last one. I'm not sure. We might do two decorating videos. It depends on how long they end up being. But in the last one, I think that was leaking, because now I got it all over my hand. We are going to do a little project, and then I'm going to be sending some out as a giveaway to you guys. And I think it'll be fun. And maybe a little bit more manageable than a great big album like this. So I'm running a risk here of not actually getting it even, but I'm looking on each side, and it looks like there's 2 full rows, like those 2 full rows, and then that. I think that's good enough. So let me get that down. Okay, and then when we take hold of it and pull it, actually I could have made that tag a little bigger, but I could also just put some ribbon on there too. I could staple some ribbon to fasten that. There we go. And then that's just going to fold in, that's going to fold in, and then we'll think about a closure for that. And then I have this one here, which might end up going out in Happy Mail. And so just before we go, I did get some more Happy Mail, which I wanted to show, some show and tell. I don't have it quite prepared to show though, but it was from Nina. And oh my gosh, Nina, it was like Christmas when I opened this up from the mailbox. So I just want to take out her, make sure there's no details there. So in the Happy Mail, gosh, I was so spoiled. We had the napkins, as it was was the napkin exchange, and there's some lovely napkins. I mean, I just love that. I love the sketch of that, and the colors in there are just so pretty. I love that. Gosh, can you imagine that, like a tagger on a journal card? And then lovely colors there. And this one was so cute. It's got little houses on the side and a little bird. Just thought it was so cute. Oh, and look at here, little man. Oh, I love it. That's really sweet. Some leaves, little spaceman, that's cute. And then just a motif in the back, all little kitties, love that. I always love the scalloped ones. I love the purple, I love the pansies. And this will make good, particularly at Christmas, do some journal cards. Oh, that's cute. And the butterfly ones. Oh, I love that, and the bees. And then just some more. Oh, and look at that. I love those air balloons, hot air balloons. Those are so sweet. And look at the little mouse. We got some little polka dots with some ice cream and some strawberries. And I love this strawberry one too. That's really nice. The little flip-flops. Oh, goodness, summer journal. Love the birdhouses. And look at this guy. Oh my gosh, isn't that sweet? And oh, that's sweet. And then we've got some, oh, look at that one there. So I love the napkins. And then there was all kinds of other little goodies. I love this little fabric scrap. And then just some of her own ephemera, which I'll remember to put into my next junk journal. And then in here we have some little, oh, some lovely little leaves. Oh, I love those. Those are like real. Nina, did you dry those yourself? I love those. And that was in this little envelope. And then we have a little kitty stamp, which is cute. And oh, some corners that she made. I love these corners. Okay, so there's a smaller one. I'm going to try to remember to do some corners, and a bigger one. Maybe we'll do some for that. That's one of the things I love about the Happy Mails. It just gives you ideas. We've got a little Chester paper clip, and then a lovely little note with some of the transparent flowers. There's some big flowers, but I love these too. These little framed flowers. They're gorgeous. I love those. I feel so blessed, you guys, that you just treat me so well, all of yous. And some frames. I love the frames. Oh, here comes the boy. So I love those. I always look for a frame sometimes to do in my Marguerite Miller. And then in this one here, we have some, oh, a bunch, oh, the feathers. Love those feathers. I'm going to try to remember those too to put into my Marguerite Miller. Then we have just some, these are stamps. And I'm assuming that's the King and Queen of Denmark. You'll have to let me know, Nina. And some gold stars. I was just thinking the other day that I wanted some gold stars. You guys are telepathic. And then, oh, look at the bees. They're stickers. My gosh. I love them when I saw them. Because you guys know what the bees mean. So, I really love those bees. And then some other stickers, which we'll make use of in my Marguerite Miller. And then we just have some scraps of paper, which I love it. It's like textured paper. It's almost like a thin leather. It's really cool. And some ribbons, some really lovely ribbons, and then a card for Chester. And I did read it to Chester last night. As a matter of fact, when I opened up the mail and I said, "Oh, Chester, this is for you," and I showed him the envelope, he actually even looked at it. So here's her kitties there. So Nina, thank you so much for the Happy Mail. But that's the end of the video for today. And as all I want to say is that I just hope you all stay safe and well. And bye for now.